Greetings out there, welcome to Culture Shock. It's a show where we delve into why we are the way we are and why we do the things we do, particularly pertaining to change and evolution within oneself and the society around. Today, we shall be talking about a very dear and more common than we'd like to believe topic. I'll call it the path to parenthood. So when we're young, we're taught, you get married, you have children, and it seems like that's all it takes. But here with me, I have some special guests who went through the process very differently to get there. So join me in welcoming Okiki Marinho, Akinwande, Mark-Obaba, and Jejelola Mark-Obaba. Thank you guys for coming to Culture Shock. I mean,
thank you for having us.
I know this is like deeply personal stuff, and for you guys so we are truly, indebted to you guys for coming on here. And here, we like to keep it light. I know it could be a sensitive subject, but just feel free, be free, as in we're some of the people that 1960 independence, we took it seriously. We are free, How long have you been married?
It's going on 9 years this year.
Going on 9 years this year, and then your kids. You have twins.
I have twins.
And how old are they?
2.5 years old.
2.5 years old.
Yes.
So that was a little gap. We do know there are couples that say, "I want to enjoy ourselves," so that can fall that. But
that was it.
What was the journey like?
The enjoy ourselves part probably was just we wanted just a year to enjoy. The way you're phrasing it.
Society taught me.
When we say enjoy, I think it was more of just, kind of be financially ready, just, because the wedding had already, taken, just all sorts. My husband had lost both his parents the same year we got married. So there was just a lot. So it's like, that's why I'm like, enjoy. I don't know if just catch your breath. At least be a couple first, enjoy this marriage. But funny enough, it wasn't even up to a year, because we got married October 2010, and by, was it?
Me too.
Same day, October 20th. And by June of 2011, I was pregnant. I mean, by then we had gone off, not trying, and it almost felt like it happened almost immediately. But as immediate as it happened was as immediate my, I don't want to call it a nightmare, but so I didn't know that was the beginning of a nightmare story, deep, intense. So my first reaction when I found I was pregnant was, that was easy. But a few days later, I started spotting, and I went back to the doctor, and I'm like, and they were like, it happens at times, blah, blah, blah. And,
so spotting us
bleeding. Sorry, I don't know how. I know
because
I can be very elaborate if you want. So I can even sound. If you allow me.
Because what we try to do is get to the truth.
So we can say vagina, transvaginal, when they put things
and
probe and
the doctors are not going to color code and sugarcoat anything. We're not experts, but we're trying to experience something that could potentially help somebody else.
Yes, and it has. So I always take opportunities like this to speak out. Always, that's the least I will do, because I'm alive. So I'll tell you why being alive, I mean, it means a lot to everyone to be, but it was touch and go at some point, still based on this whole fertility thing. So that year, like I said, spotting, bleeding. And so they'll take a test called the HCG test to see your pregnancy hormones, if it's still going up. Because if it's going up, it means you're still pregnant, blah, blah, blah. So they were doing that, and it was rising. But when I would do what you call a transvaginal scan, which was really early in this pregnancy, because they will say, we can't see anything. But one of the carelessness on their part, or maybe mine, was the fact that the scans were being done by what right now I'll call a lab rat. That's the best way I can put it.
But then,
someone that his IQ, it's I think, so because I schooled abroad I was in the UK for 12 years. So I think before then I was sheltered, my parents would take me to the hospital. They're the ones that would talk with the doctors. So coming back to Nigeria as an adult now, in the UK is different. They're kind of still the ones that will dictate things. I know, let's try this. So I think I still came back with that mindset. So who I'm calling a lab rat now, at the time, I thought he's the one to do that job. He's the one that knows what he's doing. But I didn't know he wasn't a gynecologist. So this lab rat is supposedly checking for where this fetus, or what should we call it, because it's first fetal pole before it becomes fetal. You will learn biology well in that process. I'm like, right, so it's not a baby yet. It's a, So he's like, he'll say things like, are you sure you're pregnant? I'm like, didn't the file show that I'm pregnant?
I think you're generous with lab rats at this point.
Didn't the HCD test tell you I'm pregnant? Then I'll go for a second, another scan. He'll be like, oh no, man. You're not pregnant. You can't be.
As in this kind of attitude.
Now, proper. His attitude was even worse. Most times I call out the hospital name because I feel it makes them do better. But every time I've called the name, I've been like a month ago. So I've been in gatherings like this where I end up crying because you meet some other woman that same hospital just did something worse to her, and it'll be years later after my experience. So I'm thinking, is it that we're not louding it enough? How come this careless things, it still keeps, but it's unfortunate. It's a Nigerian thing because we just go quiet, and even if you say the name, it's just them, But I digress. So so back to me. So at some point I'm like, what's going on here? And I never got to see a gynecologist, and I didn't realize somewhere in between. It was just like that means I was still spotting for probably 6-7 weeks. It went on for a while. Now, what was going on there? So this is where the all-famous term ectopic, I had never heard of it. I never thought to check on it. I just thought you said. In fact, at some point, one of them said to me, "Madam, just go home. You are miscarrying. You're having a miscarriage." I remember it was a Friday. He says, you guys just carry on as usual. And me too, I was there really believing these rats. Like, okay, yes, I am And when they were saying it, I wasn't really connecting to it in a sad way. I remember saying to my husband, oh, well, it was kind of easy getting pregnant anyways. And I knew of some friends who their first pregnancy then. So I think I just felt like, it's happened to them. They survived, they moved on. Right. Black women, African, we're strong. They spoke about it and they moved on. So I thought, okay, fine, maybe my body wasn't yet ready. I kind of just justified it. So those that will see me in that period, there was nothing sad or she was going through anything. In fact, I'm sure I traveled for a wedding in Abuja. Life went on during this same period. I'm still traveling, just carrying on with my life. Then that nuisance doctor that said I should go home and just, be miscarrying away. Imagine. No, don't miscarry in the hospital. In retrospect, I'm thinking, shouldn't you even have admitted me do something? Anyway.
But anyway.
So he's like, they will do another HCG test, but that one would take longer to come out the results. So I should come back in the next week and they will have it. True to form, I went back and they were like, no, it's not yet out. And I found that strange. I left my number with the reception. I said, just call me, because I know maybe looking through the file, you'll say, I begged this woman. I never heard from them. And I also never went back. I just thought. Then one day, I got was a Sunday, excruciating pain. I was screaming, rolling on the floor. And guess what I told my husband? I said, this must be my body now finally excreting, because there's a lot more bleeding. So I was like, this must be the end of this miscarriage stuff. So still didn't go to the hospital. Still was.
Just stay down.
Since I was told to just let it flow. All right. 3 days after that incident, I was like, if I keep bleeding like this, I even made comments. I was like, it looks like I would die. Like, it was a lot. And I was still going to work. I was carrying on. Like I said, at work, they didn't know anything. So that day, I finished work, entered the car, told the driver, just take me to the hospital. Very casually, strolled in. I'm like, the doctor that told me weeks ago, it appears that's what has been happening, but the amount of bleeding. So this new doctor, this underdog, because every time I keep seeing another doctor, it's never the same. So that one's looking at me very confused and puzzled, like, this doesn't make sense, but he was like, okay. And what happened was I used to go in between. It was VI was where you have the small clinic. Apapa, so those are hints. Apapa is the main. Is the main, Yes, you know them. So VI is that. VI is the nice private one. Apapa is where you will go. So Apapa was where that doctor told me to be miscarrying. So this VI doctor is looking at me like, who told you what? I'm like, you know what? Am I okay? Do I need supplements? You know. Guys, like, by the way, where's the HCG test of how many weeks ago? He calls them in Apapa.
Let's have it.
And there on the phone, this guy looked like he was looking at a ghost. So he's looking at me lost, like, is this woman still sitting here? I didn't understand what that meant. What that meant was, that means 2-3 weeks ago, whatever, the HCG test then must have risen so high. So where is this baby? That you are saying is miscarriage? You get, of course, he already. So I laid down. He's pressing, I'm screaming. He just said, okay, would I go to Apapa that night? I looked at the time, this was like 7:30 p.m. I said, okay, VI to Apapa. That's Apapa. Or what time do you want me? You know, I was still there taking it lightly. He was like, ma, okay, let's find somewhere on the island. So I went to Crestview. I'll say their name because they saved my life. So got to Crestview, and as I got there, the whole place was locked up. But I had the doctor's note, so I told the security guy that even if it's one last doctor in there, that my doctor says, Ojan, I don't want to go to Apapa. Otherwise, he said, if Crestview won't open, I have to head to Apapa. So the guy took it in, and they put on. I said this place was closed. They had locked the gate. Good night. So whoever he saw in there, but I was later I find out years later I was the owner of the place. Okay. So I was wondering why would someone put. I was like, this thing must be serious. So, but I was still keeping calm. Guy greeted me warm, everything. Then he just goes, Ma. How long have you been pregnant? Maybe by then it was already 9 weeks. So I don't time too long. He goes, there's a dead fetus inside you. Oh, wow. Your tummy is so big. It's looking like maybe internal bleed. Like he was just saying all sorts. I was like, internal bleeding, dead fetus. You know, you look at someone that, I was like, but sir, they said I was miscarrying. The guy was like, no, you didn't miscarry. It's all in you, and we need to get it out. Now, where's your husband? Who can we call? We need to do an operation, right? I was like, you know, here, listen, I was like, okay, nobody in Nigeria is touching me. I'm from the UK. That I'll take the next. He said, ma, you are not understanding. That you are alive, that we're even talking is a miracle. You have what you had an ectopic. It's your tube has blown. As in the guy, you know, he was still trying to sugarcoat for me. He's like, okay, let me go deeper. One tube is gone. What I'm looking at is a mess in you. We need to open you now. This is not. Wow. He will now say, are you feeling faint? I'm like, okay, I'm fine. I'm okay, sir. He was just like, man, what made you come today? Yeah. Did you get, like, maybe you could have delayed on that day. And apparently I'll just sleep and that's it. Aldi. I'll say bye-bye to the world. Or some go for it's not fun. You know, and so they called an ambulance and took me to Apapa. By then they had called my husband. I still went to this Apapa. Now when I got to this Apapa, that is the first night that I saw gynecologists. All of them.
9-week period.
All of them were around.
So now, were you just saying, like,
regular doctors, and I didn't know, senior, whatever. You see, whatever they want to call themselves, that one is their own cup of tea. All me I know is I was a pregnant woman that walked into a place in VI. Is it me to tell you the level at B, the grade, or the name?
This is my situation.
I won't lie. Yes, now of course, now I'm very. Then I was just doctor. Okay, pregnancy was my own. Like, what is all? You know, like, do you know what the guy called in? Papa, why didn't you insist on seeing a gynecologist? I had to laugh. I said, Oga, I said, you guys are funny here. I said, you're funny in this country. I kept saying this country. He said, it's not your country. I said, you know me, I'm dual citizen. Let me know, like, don't know what I'm even doing here. This, you know, I was still laughing with them. They were like, this was your sense of humor. I was like, no, but seriously, this is some BS. Like, funny. You are asking me why I didn't insist on saying a guy. Really? He goes, yes, that we stop using this, our London mentality. This is what he said to me when we come back. Madam, this is Nigeria. You should have insisted that. He's not saying that because he is, you know, the guy, they move around. He's he doesn't owe them anything. You might as well have seen that same guy in Youth Hospital or anywhere. So he's not saying it because he's just keeping it real with me. And that's what has saved me in Nigeria. I feel like since that day, I'm very Nigerian now in my approach and things. He was just like, cut the crap. If you're going to live in this country, you demand, you command, you tell, like, don't read on it. Go.
It's sad that you have
It's sad, but it's survival. Like,
reality,
it's life. It's what's going on. He can't save all of us. He can't. He probably sees how many women every week. Like
to help yourself.
To help yourself is what he's trying to say.
Help
themselves. This is Nigeria. You're saying, this is not the UK now, ma. Please, let's just. So I said, and he kept saying to me, it doesn't matter what hospital I decide to go to, just be on top of things. That's why it's just like, I understood where it was coming from, because this is where we, So they did the operation that day. The anesthetician, those ones have stupid money. I think I want my son or daughter, which one of them will go and learn that stuff for? What? No, I'm serious, like they pay them. So we're there waiting for the guy to arrive because he's busy. I think it was a busy night, and they're very few because such a specialist. I didn't know any of this till that night. I was just looking. So when he came, he was still talking about it. He said, that, because by then you're all naked. They've seen, like, they've seen you finish. No. So he goes, that you're probably one of these madams that when we're flying first class. I just started laughing. First class. I mean, I'm not first class. So I said, first class. Oh, wow. I said, no, sir. It'd be like his economy. You'll be seeing me. He said, maybe when you're walking via lounge. I said, lounge. This guy. He was just trying to humor. Do you know when he was doing all of that, he had injected my spine till today, because, like I said, I've been through so much medically. But till today, that's the best.
Because your mind wasn't there. So
the best. And I've never... In fact, that's how I knew, because he kept saying he's the best. Like, nobody, I forgot his name, but he was saying, he was like, oh, I'm the best. Like, still bragging. I was like, who brags like this? He was like, done. And from that day onwards, every other person, I feel it, I will know, like, they are not like him. So I was like, indeed, that man is his own technique and everything. So did that whole surgery. It was an open surgery. It was successful. No. Asleep. I just mean they opened me up instead of a keyhole surgery. Yes. So, just to clean me out and all of that. So we did that. Then the healing process was really, it was horrible. Maybe minimum 2 full months. I couldn't walk around. I couldn't do much. It was intense. Then after that, I got pregnant that same year again in December. So this time around, I was on top of things. So I found out it was another ectopic pregnancy. Wow. So I went to the UK.
This time around?
Yeah, this time around I went to the UK. So
this is 2011.
This still that same 2011. So 2 ectopics same year. So one was June and one was December. And when I got there, the UK people were like, this poor young woman. I think by then I was 29 or something. Yeah. They were like, do you have any kids? No. They were like, that to have because it means I have no tube. One fallopian tube is gone.
How many
you have two. And your tubes don't grow back. Come on, because I love Nigeria. Yeah, I love. No miracle. Your tubes don't grow back. I love God to bits, but we need to educate people, because they say the funniest things in Nigeria. I'm like, you guys, Google is your friend. Your tubes don't grow back there. So this is the other tube to show it doesn't grow back. That's why the Oyinbo guys are like, let's not remove the whole tube. That they will just suck out that's keyhole. Just take out. They don't even refer to it as a baby. The thing, like they don't want you to connect to it. Because what happens is when you do a scan, you hear the heartbeat of the baby. And I kept saying, but that's a baby. You're going to kill it. And they're like, no, it's not a baby. It's a thing that will kill you. It's it's a psychological. So they didn't remove the whole tube. They still left it. But the thing is, that means it's been touched. That tube can never really be the same. But they said they had some people who had similar experience that still went on to have a baby with that one tube. So that's why they did that. So that was it. And then in 2012, I didn't even get pregnant at all. Nothing. Not so much. We were trying. We still carried on trying, but maybe not as that much. But nothing happened. So So that was my own beginning.
Like introduction
to I want to start a family.
How many years in between? This is 2011 and you got married in?
Yes, 2010. So 2010 got married, 2011, 2 ectopics in 1 year. Yes.
Like what?
Really like I didn't have anything.
No.
After
everyone.
What we call the honeymoon period. This is what you
were going through.
Right, I remember. I know we also had planned one kind of honeymoon period.
Yeah, so we had that.
How long have you guys been married?
Married by
12 years in October.
Is it 12 years October?
Yeah,
oh, you guys are October anniversary. Wow,
October
special month.
27. Yeah, 27.
Yeah, so 12 years. So I mean, we got married 2007 October, and I recall wanted to give ourselves a break. You know, I can't remember how much.
I remember that I already had an issue with irregular periods.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
So, you know, and I remember even at the time when I was investigating the irregular periods, one doctor, a gynecologist,
let's be clear that you saw the right person.
had said to me that, he didn't really tell me what it was, but he just said, with this thing, you know, when you get pregnant the first time, it'll correct itself. But the question is, how do you then get pregnant with this? So, you know, we had that plan not to have a baby immediately, but having that at the back of your mind and knowing that from about 10 years before this, there's been an issue. So, you know, be careful. Go on.
Yeah, so of course, I think a few months after we got married, maybe 3 months or so, we went to see, same 2007, went to see a gynecologist.
Another one.
Another gynecologist. So a gynecologist who, I recall at that time, it was a very uncomfortable session, if I remember correctly, because we left there feeling very... You know, he did first did a pap smear, did a few things.
This guy, I could smell alcohol on him. That's, I'm not even going to mince words. I mean, this is honestly. So he knew his onions, but the reason for the discomfort was, is he really together?
Is he here with us right now?
Yes.
And it was an elderly doctor.
So you want to
so quite experienced based on the white hair on the you know.
Been around the block.
So that I think I recall at that session he just said, okay, he wanted to put us on some medication to help stabilize the irregular periods.
Fair enough.
Yes, all sorts of metformin.
And he wanted me to be checking, to be chatting and monitoring ovulation and sort of those things that take the fun
out of everything. This is not,
you know.
So
count calories too.
So we did that. And then I think by the next year, which would have been 2008 or so, somebody talked about, there's another doctor that won't happen to be near our house, you know. So we said, okay, let's go and see this doctor. I think this was even much later. You know, so of course we got there, and then after several visits, he says, he needs to clean up the womb, you know. So he will do an elective DNC, which is a dilation and what they call curation DNC.
Yes,
So she had to go.
What does that entail?
It's just like, it's the same process as an abortion.
It's just that there was nothing to abort.
Yes.
Okay.
He wanted to look inside and take a closer look at the ovary.
Okay, so it's not hysteroscopy because
So with the hysteroscopy,
you know they go in with the camera and all that. Yes.
This one, there's no
Why
camera.
won't they just do the hysteroscopy first?
There's clinic and there's hospital.
There's levels to this thing.
Many levels.
Wow.
So
you know, this is 2008.
Even in 2008, you would have found
we thought that you have done hysteroscopy.
I mean, he's been doing it like this for such a long time.
Oh my gosh.
He also was an
elderly guy. That's how we've been doing it.
In fairness to him, though, I think that he did a more thorough check.
Okay.
Plus me, I think the difference.
Please tell me you were fully asleep.
I was fully asleep, yes.
Okay, thank God.
I was reading, I was always checking it. So I come from we both come from a family that has, so a few doctors and we fully understand the thing about specializing in something. So it wasn't just going into a big hospital and finding somebody, we're quite specific with who we're seeing.
And I have an uncle that's a gynecologist.
So now
So I mean, with him though, even in the beginning, he did the checks for both of us.
Yes,
it wasn't a woman or man thing.
There's like both leg checks.
And this is something. Sorry to cut in, but this is something also for people listening that most times you go to the hospital and they always assume
it's the woman.
Let's just keep checking the woman. And sometimes you hear cases where they've been checking the woman for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, and then they say, let's check the man. And then they find out, the problem is even from here. And it's, in some cases, you can actually correct it.
Yeah, but
you know, but you spend so many years just past, you know, toying with the woman's.
Or even if it's not a problem with the man, it may be something that let's just boost.
Let's boost.
Exactly.
Let's boost to help.
And this is not also considering the family and society problems that you could have avoided.
Yeah.
There's the mental, emotional part to it, of course, minus all the physical strain.
Yeah, so we went, we did that. I remember that was when I started getting a bit scared. I don't like hospitals.
We understand.
You know, I mean, that's a different conversation. But first time in all my years, I spent one night in the hospital about a few weeks ago. That's the first time I had actually been in the hospital overnight. I've never, so I don't like hospitals. But I remember seeing her after that elective D&C. I'm using the word elective, you know, because you need to be careful. Elective D&C.
Okay.
Of course, she was put under. So of course, I remember when she was waking up, she was just babbling.
Very good.
You know, you're not really conscious of it. You know, and I was like, this is not a good feeling at all. You know, when you actually see somebody.
Things from my past.
So I looked at her and I was like, this is not a good feeling. I just didn't like that feeling, you know. But little did we know that that was just the beginning of many other, you know, many other. So
I think for us, it was more an infertility journey.
Yes,
I mean, there was also the part where we had an ectopic as well.
Yeah, somewhere in the
wow.
Ectopic because
I'm not sure where that was.
2012. That was December 2012.
Wow. But had you had any kids by 2012? No, not yet.
But between 2008. I think there was a period we decided, you know what, let's even just take a
rest. Yeah.
So we spent a lot of time traveling.
That's always fun.
In the world, just doing, you know, just
things that you want to do.
Let's leave this thing. And then I think in 2010 or 2011, somebody recommended a fertility. Now this is 3 years in, you know. There's this very good fertility doctor. You know.
And they didn't lie.
He's very
That's
good.
here
In Nigeria.
Fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic. Great person. You know, he would connect with you. So you actually, you know, when you're looking forward to going to see the doctor.
Yeah, so like on a human level first. Like,
so, you know, we saw him and I think the very first thing he said was, okay, we need to go in there. Okay, let me just backtrack. At some point they had, I'm not sure which one of the doctors we had seen. In between we had seen some other doctors, by the way. There was one, remember the other? We had that one appointment with the doctor. I don't want to mention the name of the hospital because it's very well known. But, you know, as soon as we left the hospital, we said, okay, we're not coming back here.
Straight.
Because there was just an arrogance. As soon as we left his office,
you know,
we just
said, you know when somebody just says, oh, so this is it, so we'll do this, and after that we'll do this, and if that doesn't happen, then we go for the big guns. So that's like
just really? There was a bit of arrogance in the way, you know, here we are, maybe 3 years
like a car salesman.
So we said, okay, we're not going back.
Used car.
I think even the car salesman would have been nice because they're trying to get you
to
even.
So
I'm doing your favor.
Thank you.
That's how you felt.
You need me.
So we walked out and said, okay, let's go. And then
I'm paid though. You paid it, so it's like
of course it wasn't
a free consultation now.
This must be.
This was a private VI. This was even VI.
And
it must be.
You know. So, but and you know, so of course, then I think it was in 2010 or 2011. I now can't remember, but we saw this fertility doctor who now said, okay, he's going to do a few things, and he went through a process, you know. And that's when we now did the laparoscopy, you know, where laparoscopy.
Keyhole. So
that's the keyhole.
Because laparoscopy is, like she said, going in with a camera to see or to correct something. So pretty much without opening you up.
Yes. And one of the things they had seen, I'm not sure if it was that doctor, but we had started reading up about PCOS, which stands for polycystic.
Yeah, the very first doctor had told us about. He had diagnosed.
Doctor had
diagnosed with polycystic ovarian. I had tried all kinds of things. You do this cleanse, you do this detox, this diet change, you do this, because I was also trying to approach it the natural way, because I thought, okay, if there's an option, so you read books, you find books, I bought books, something that tell you if you eat this and this and this. I changed my entire diet.
You know, all kinds of things, and you know, with the you're pretty much the PCOS means you have cysts. You know, along the lining of the ovary, which will prevent.
Can I come in?
Yes.
So you know how it is. The ovaries is producing eggs every month or every so often. Those eggs mature and then they travel around and then plants and line and all of that. But with polycystic ovaries, the eggs when they're produced, they don't mature. So because they're not mature, they then stay. So they don't get released from the ovary. So they then form cysts around the ovary.
Does it hurt?
No. Sometimes you don't even know. Well, sometimes you may feel like what's going on in my tummy. It sounds like I'm like ovulation pain or but you're not really sure what it is. Yes, I remember that I used to have that pain, but
so of course, so that was what that procedure was about. So they went in. Of course, they had to put her under again. And I remember. Because I was always there, so I was there, and again, just seeing her go through, being knocked out, and then coming back to life, literally, very, very painful, hard to see. And I remember waiting in the hospital. Okay, a friend of yours came, and so she came. One of her best friend really came and stayed with me. So we're in the hospital, we just waited.
Can I just say she even got to the hospital before me on that day, and did you have that appointment?
Wow.
So about 3 or 4 hours, I can't really remember again. So of course we waited, and then they said, okay, they had done the procedure. Truth be told, is with these procedures, it's not 100%.
Yeah.
So they just went in there and said
it was investigative.
It was just an investigative. So they said, they saw this, they took out some of the
the
cysts with I think they used laser technology or something.
He recorded
in Nigeria.
So it was recorded,
He recorded it. So what they did when they went in
what was going on inside.
So the same guy that had done the DNC is the same thing that they did.
Yes.
Or when they did, it's the same curation. But they didn't open it.
That's what I'm laughing. I said,
DNC,
did they? No,
the guy that did
the DNC, do they open, when you say open you up? They'll dilate
dilation
is for
dilation and curating is scraping. Dilation
manually going there.
It's not funny.
Oh my God. These guys did, but they went in and he could tell me, he said, so the 2 tubes, one of them is 100% blocked. The other one is partially blocked because they went in, they tried to pass in liquid. So different. I never went through that HCG test.
I was about to say, and I believe them. I've never gone through it, but there's some strong friends that that if they'll tell you this thing will make you cry, and
I heard so many stories about how
nightmare stories.
They did it for me, but I was fast asleep. So
they did it whilst you're fast asleep. Okay,
because
was part of it.
That was how they discovered that one was 100% blocked. The other one was partially blocked.
So why don't they put those people to sleep as well? Then when they
you have to, it's a bit
more expensive.
Surgery, it's a lot expensive.
Okay, so
with it, so it's not as easy as just going
straightforward and just injecting
the water. Yes,
women.
But they also did some curation. But he came out and he said, it's positive because they had done the cleaning. He said he felt better about this, and with that, he then recommended IVF.
Okay, now
one tube is completely blocked and one is, partially blocked.
You already know that.
Yes,
probability of
it will be low.
Bypass this tube
yes.
Go with the fertility treatment.
So, anyway, so in comes the IVF.
Yes, because I've heard this.
And so, of course, IVF, very expensive procedure.
And very invasive as well.
Yeah. Very
syphilis.
No, there's even it's not
the
even
truth
that.
is
The process.
At this point,
you don't care anymore.
So with the IVF, I remember, we had to be going to the hospital every day to go and get injected.
Oh, you didn't learn how to do it yourself?
At that time, I was not bold enough.
No, that time.
Later
you will learn.
So every day for how long?
For 12, 14 days, 2 weeks, 12 days every day.
At all times of the day. I remember we get there, all times.
And it has to be specific times.
Times of the day.
To do is to boost it, and it's to they're mimicking the way your body would normally
behave.
Yeah. So you have to time it.
Yeah, of course. So that's from the woman's side. Of course, from the man's side, it's not fun trying to do when you're going to go and do it, because then they tell you, take your cup.
But that's just once now. Remaining of the 12, 13 days.
Some men have. I'm
doing that. Are you on that matter?
If you're not used to doing that,
that's as an act.
You're not used to doing
no, but usually they might allow the wife into.
Eventually,
yes, now, girl, the wife has to go in and call a walk. Yeah, that's like that's my husband. He's like nothing will come out of it.
After saying,
will be hell.
And you have to come at particular time. Wow. They had even told us one of the sessions. They said, I think I went home. They said, okay, take it when you get home, do it, but bring it within 30.
Something you have to go
30 minutes or something.
Yes, now it's such a close window.
We live in Yaba.
So. That didn't work, but eventually one of the sessions we were able to do it in the hospital, and then that's the side of the man. Of course, the woman gets the brunt of it.
Injection,
and then that messes with your hormones really. So as they're giving you all those things, it's actually trying to It's trying to stabilize the hormones that were already very unstable and all that.
Will it not work?
Because it's, like I said, it's exploratory, experimental.
Yeah, thinking about the zeros.
You've made a lot of money. Fast forward, of course, so we got the news. And I recall it was negative right from day one. So after going through that,
that's what they believe it too. He was just like
he was so sad. He felt bad.
He said, "No, please, you have to go and do this. Let's wait a few. 48 more hours, and let's do this test again." You'd have thought it was him. I was having
because they got some good
eggs, grade A's, and
he told me, "Oh, Mr. come and see the X results." I couldn't say anything. He said, "Look in the microscope." I'm like,
"They look good, but
I can't see well."
And then of course I can't remember, maybe a few months after, then we did, which was the other one now?
This was December 2012. And I remember I was just like, nothing anymore. He just, one day we went to see him, I can't remember what it was. And then went to see, it wasn't 2012, this was 2011. I can't.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a job.
It was after an ectopic pregnancy that we now decided to...
It wasn't after the ectopic pregnancy.
It wasn't after, yes, exactly.
So we did the IVF and he then... So nothing happened, and then the ectopic happened.
Yes,
so when you got pregnant naturally when you...
So in that period, so I had started taking health a lot more seriously, and faith as well. So that was part of the journey. Because it's a mind, soul, body
thing. Yes, that's so happened.
Exactly. So I lost weight. I was eating different. I did cleanses, body cleanses. Like I said, I was just online. What am I doing? As they say on Okonwaja, which is the one that's going to enter. And true to form, December 2012, I got pregnant. I was just like, what's this thing? I remember our friends were around from the UK. I was like,
friends in the house.
I was just saying, I feel like I have an ectopic pregnancy. I shall say this, that I feel like I have an ectopic pregnancy. And I remember I was exercising that day. Eventually, when I was in the office, I called him. I said, Dr. Meka, this is how I'm feeling, that this thing. He said, okay, come over to the hospital. So I called him and then he picked me up and we went. And he did a scan. And he goes, He said, okay, so I can see something. He said, we need to do a pregnancy test. If it's negative, all well and good. If it's positive, then there's an issue. Okay.
Imagine positive is the issue.
Thank you. You are there. That was the feeling. So in my head, I'm thinking.
Seriously, after all these years.
So he came back, and we did the test. I was like, it's positive. I said, so what? He said, we have to take it out now. He's like, ectopic, it's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
I said, Meka, and telling me that I'm pregnant. You're taking it out. This is year 5.
Yeah, 25 years.
I'm like,
damn.
Not me.
No, forget it.
Come back.
That you come.
So we literally left.
You told him he'll come back.
No, so we left the hospital.
They don't.
Because you
they didn't even let me go anywhere. Come back.
No, he knew.
It's crazy. No, I understand.
I'm not leaving Lekki.
It's not for Lekki, but I need to just go and process.
2 streets away. Wow. So we got there. We're like, God, just join us in prayer.
This is not happened. Oh my gosh. She's sounding like my third ectopic. We'll get to my own third one. I had 3 in total.
3?
Yes, now we'll get there.
Was this the one you had?
But that was this is her own one.
I mean, fast forward week. So I went home. I went home and I was just trying to. I didn't go back to him. I called him and said I'm not going to come back.
Next day we went. Then of course,
did they have to remove the tube or no?
When the thing started, nobody told me
to go a bit.
So of course they had.
I'm on my way back.
Okay.
I'm on my way.
So
they had to remove it.
No, by the next day, I think it was the next day. So they had to take out the tube and the fetus, or the embryo.
Yes,
so they took it all out. It was another keyhole surgery. It was here, which is good because he then said, okay, the great news is the tube. So the ectopic happened in the tube that was 100% blocked.
Oh, which was a good thing. That's great.
The tube was getting unblocked. And the tube that was partially blocked was now clear because the passed through it and it was now clear.
Yes, I understand.
So we came out and he said, you know what?
You'll be fine.
Okay, if this won't happen without anything,
you'll
just go. So we went and we chilled a bit, and it was okay. How much chilling should we do?
Try.
I was just, and then the other thing is, I think at some point I was also in denial. And that kind shielding denial of you don't want to hope too much, or maybe because of the things that have already failed, sort of create this cocoon around yourself. So I was like, well, my husband and I were having fun. It's just us. You are there lugging baby bag. You sort of suppress that desire to make yourself feel better. So there was a time I went through that.
Yes.
And this, my friend, this is my very special friend. She told me, Wambi, just come here, give yourself brain, and don't be thinking that everything is not okay. You know you want this thing, and your husband, you know your husband wants this thing. So don't be coding it and be saying that everything's okay. Just deal with it and deal with it.
Yeah.
And honestly, the doctor called us both as well one day. He said, look, come and see me. I went. I said, what's your plan? What are you doing?
Yes, because you need a plan.
Because let me say, when that ectopic happened, he wrote off 150K off a bill.
Yeah,
he said, look, this is what would have come to me. He said, take it off. Yeah. So this for him, it wasn't about the money. It wasn't anything. He just wanted to see a happy
succeed,
family.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying, so what exactly? Let's have a plan. Let's do something. Yeah. Let's see if your children, if your son will be bald like his father. If I had short hair and I would do twist outs. Okay. So I remember he said, maybe your daughter will have dada hair like you. I remember very well. But it was encouraging.
Yes.
Because we then did the IUI, which is a... So literally, let me tell you, the way he said this, which made perfect sense. IUI is... So say the journey of the sperm is Lagos to Abuja.
Okay.
What IUI does is it shortens it to Lagos to Ibadan.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So as he said it that way, it just makes sense. So really it's just to say instead of traveling all the way, we'll take out the sperm and put it closer to the egg, so it doesn't have to.
And are you awake for that when they do the IUI? I've never understood that.
No, I was under slightly.
It's not
a transvaginal scan.
Okay.
Because of the different equipment.
Yes, that they will use. Yes.
Okay. So I was slightly awake. It wasn't fast to say because he literally finished. I said, "Okay, wake up, we're done." I remember that happened. We did that, and it was positive. Yeah. And
so we went home. We went home. Good news. And
wow.
We're all excited, and I think 6 weeks or 2 weeks. I can't remember.
A few weeks after or something.
I was just in the middle of that.
Oh no!
My tummy. And I'm bleeding. And I called him, and he said, "Oh, okay." He said, "No. You'll be okay. Lay down. Put many pillows. Put your feet up." He really wanted this thing. But eventually, I was just like, what? Let's not even. It expelled itself. There was no drama around it. So we went back. HCG was down. All of that happened. But he said, "You know what? I'm actually quite encouraged." And that was the thing that happened for us as well. The ectopic, the horrible event was encouraging because you realize after all these years, it even happened. It was in the wrong place.
But
there was nothing.
Now,
but that encouraged us. Even for him, and how I imagine. I don't know. But you're probably thinking, am I not man enough? Can I not? Can they not swim? Can they not this?
Did you have those moments?
Yeah, maybe.
No, I don't even think. I tell you, my own moment throughout the entire journey really was. It was just okay. You start seeing people. In between all this, your cousins, your younger
cousins is a father for fun.
I remember I think after one of my really little cousins, really, I'm talking about she's probably, I don't know, maybe 15 years younger than I am, or even somewhere there.
Uncle.
Gets married, so we go, and then she's pregnant.
And boom, the baby is out.
And it's happening around everybody. You've gone for all the weddings.
Yeah. They're all with their babies.
You've gone for the baby dedication. Where the parents are saying, no, I'm done.
Yeah. So you're going there, then your also I have cousins, most of my that were like brothers, and they start having kids. Their kids are 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, and then
and you're thinking, who will my children grow up?
I literally had run out of cousins my own age who had little kids.
Oh my God.
Like,
literally. So same thing with her. Most of her best friends had kids. Maybe at the time that your best friend already had a child that was almost 10.
Yeah.
When you did the ectopic, I was 7 or so.
So
all of a sudden,
how kids
by 20
friends like us.
So by that 2013, it was like, okay, God is now in God's hands.
We don't know what else. One of the things that keeps playing in my head is like, when you're younger, they say, don't let a boy touch you or you get pregnant. Only if you were that easy. Only exactly, just touch like this. You're pregnant.
But I think I want to hear
the third. When we went to the third one.
Before we have to wrap up.
So 2012, nothing happened. No health anything. We're trying, but nothing. I was even thinking
no
of Then. 2013, January 2013 was when we decided, let's say fertility doctor and just start having a plan, like you were saying, like what do we want to do? So they were like, okay, they wanted me to do, I've forgotten, maybe take some vaccination, I've forgotten which particular one, which they said I hadn't taken, and when I take it, I won't be able to do IVF for some months. So I remember just thinking, oh, okay, when I'm ready, I'll take it. But that was January, and I didn't do anything. And April 2013, found out I was pregnant again. Naturally, so I was like, this must be it. There's no way, like all this, like Baba God, you've done it. Like I was pre-celebrating. What? He has done it. I did the test because I was in Nigeria. They were like, ma, it's looking like it might be an ectopic again, but this one was weird because they couldn't see it in the tube. It was just a really strange one. So I was allowed to still travel to the UK because it wasn't yet threatening. It wasn't yet so clear. But like, let's still give it time, So when I got there, they literally locked me in that hospital that I couldn't go home. They were like, though they can't see it in the fact is, if they cannot see it in the correct place, then it doesn't matter where it is, it's in the wrong place. Yeah. So imagine that. Me and the doctor, I just told them, well, that one is for people's pocket. You cannot touch me. You cannot operate on me until you can see it. If you can't see it, you're not operating. You're not just digging. So that was a Monday. It was in May, the week of my birthday, May. So maybe May 11th or 10th, whatever. May 16th is my birthday. So that was a Monday. They locked me in. Luckily, my brother was in town. He had to bring me some night wears and, he was like, I thought you said you were just going in for routine. I said, so they locked me that I can't go home until I let them operate. And the operation was they wanted to go in to find where it is. And I asked them, but if you find it and isn't, they were like, madam, it will not be in the right place. Do you get? Like, there's nothing like that. I was like, no. I'm like, I don't care. You can't touch me. So that was Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday. So by Thursday, my birthday, I celebrated in the hospital. This was them every day trying to convince me that they need to go in because HCG test is rising. By Friday, I think maybe they probably signed me a step early, insane or something. Friday, I had no choice. There wasn't a choice in the matter. The senior son had signed off on top of my head that please don't even listen to her. So they went in. So this one was hiding behind one intestine. I can't even remember the stupid story. All I know is that it made sense to them why they couldn't see it. It was hiding behind something. Who cares? The bottom line is that tube was now gone. So on this day, May 17, 2013, I became tubeless. No more fallopian tubes. And they're going, oh, but your womb was clean. Yeah, doctor, your womb is so clean. You're going to go on to have beautiful babies. You just do IVF. Don't worry. In fact, we're sure, this is how they said, that by the time you do the first one, I'm sure you will get pregnant because your womb was so clean. This is the first time I heard someone bragging about someone's womb. I was like, wow, my womb is so... So they were just, trying to just cheer up that, don't worry. That was fallopian tubes when there's IVF. At this point, I never read on IVF and what it would entail and all the injections. And so I was still there going, okay, no problem. But of course, I sunk into a depression. But it wasn't a visible, it wasn't one that I'm there sad. I was just maybe while going out more, just... I didn't care. I was just doing whatever. I'll come home at 6 a.m. I'll just be out till late, or I'll deliberately stay out because I don't want to go home till as late. Like I wasn't happy. Yeah, I wasn't happy, and I didn't want my husband around me in that unhappiness. The less time we can spend in my feeling unhappy, the better. And all of that. It was just a really horrible time. And so that year, December 2013, was my first IVF try. It didn't work. just so that we can, round off. Boom, didn't work. I'm like, all that money, so that was round one. Then we had kept some frozen, no, in my case, eggs, because the country we did it, I did in Dubai. Okay. So where we did it, they are not allowed to keep embryos. So yeah, in fact, they just changed the law. I got there when they changed. I don't know. Before then, they were allowed. I don't even know if they've changed it back, but
for religious reasons?
I don't know. I never even investigated, but at the time when I checked, they said they are no longer. So we kept the eggs. So the process was still shorter. But my husband said I had to come, give the sperm, and all of that. But it didn't take maybe a week. It was very faster this time. And this time around, there was a little positive. Like it showed a slight positive, like when you're doing the test after the 2 weeks wait, but after the didn't work. Then October of that year again, we went back for another beginning of an IVF something. and that one too still didn't work. So, okay, no, October, they took out some cells, which they said they would use on the next IVF try. Wow. They were using me as guinea pig. Me too, I was there saying, anyone, just try. December of that, it didn't work. So that's 2 Decembers now with 2, that's now, well, let's call it 2.5 failed IVFs because the second one was a frozen egg transfer, yes. But I still call it 3 failed IVFs, not that the same. So that was me, and I'm like, I don't want to hear about IVF again. I was so done, blah, blah, blah. So 2014, I don't think I cared or did much. Then, then you do some tests, hysteroscopy, all this, check, is she still okay? I just didn't care. I genuinely just started living my life, and I was just telling God, you know what, I can't come and die over this child matter. Traveling, like you said, I wasn't depressed anymore. I was reaching acceptance stage on the matter. Beyond, you know, you go beyond that and everything. Then, what year were the twins? But then it took us till 2016 before I finally did the 4-5 IVF. Which was the only ever successful one, which is the only one we did in Nigeria, which was just a lot of interesting things happened in that particular. When we were talking about faith, you know, just different things pulled to, you know, because I remember that particular one. I tell people, be clear what you're saying to God.
Absolutely.
So I was very clear with God that I kept saying to him that, God, but I know you get it, that this one, no, if you look deep in my heart, this is it, like this is my own final one. That's how I used to talk to him. I was like, I know you know now, so let's not even. So even when I was in for it, I was like, they was say it didn't work. Like, I don't even think I really cared. Okay, it worked, it didn't work. I've sure told you that, done. Like, the other ones, maybe I'm saying I'm done, but of course I wasn't quite done. But this one, I know, I feel like he understood that it's true. Okay, I've tested this girl enough, and she'll go and give her testimony very well. Amen. So let's let her through this time, because I was done. So it was a boy and a girl twin. I didn't do gender selection. I was like, okay, God, you try.
Our conversation
you try.
Well, let me just, so for us, just to fast track, so by 2014, really,
yes,
so 2013, I think, went quietly. 2014,
was IUI.
No, we had even done IUI. I can't remember again, but in 2014, in July, she decided, okay, I would resign, so she stopped work.
I was very distracted with work. When you're doing this thing,
so,
I mean, we all handle these things differently. But some people stayed at work, so it's not a recommendation, but for me, it was...
She stopped work, and then, yes, you traveled to, you were in the UK, you went to UK to go and see her sister.
My last day at work was on 30th of June, and I traveled about 2 weeks after.
You went to go and see her sister in the UK, and while she was there, she was saying she was just feeling funny. Let her go to do it, pregnancy test. So she did the test and said, oh, it's pregnant. Yeah, she's positive. So we said, okay, UK. Then got a hospital from a friend, you know, and you know in the UK without insurance. So of course, hospital before we knew it,
bills,
pounds money. They said positive, and I remember. So we said, UK, just stay there first. You don't come back to this country. Stay there. And I remember after about a month or so, I went there, and then we went to the hospital. We did all the tests, and we said, okay, we're planning to have this baby in the US. So you will come back to Nigeria and then go to the US. So I even left. I left you.
Was I meant to come back to Nigeria?
Yeah, come back through Nigeria and then go to the US.
Initially, we had said stay in the UK
and just
cross over.
But it was getting. This is October of 20. Weather was beginning. We're getting close to winter. Depression. You know. So my mom was there with her, but it wasn't the same. I had come back. So they said, okay, just come back, do a few weeks in Nigeria with the pregnancy. We were about 15, 16 weeks pregnant now. You know. And then we came back. And then 2 weeks after coming back, in the middle of the night at 3 a.m., she said, I don't know what's happening.
Let me quickly say something.
I thought she was about to say this was the...
I think it's important to say this because our bodies are different. And I think for anyone who's listening, you know, so there's some things that are blankets. You know, they say, oh, you have to do this if you're pregnant. But for some people, it doesn't quite work. You know, I mean, I don't know what anyone's history is, but it's always good to ask and I would say, do only what is 100% necessary. So I had come back and, I mean, I even went to see this doctor. He had checked, looked at my records. He did his own checks and said everything was great. So I registered and he said, look, you need to just register, even if it's for a few weeks, where you can be doing antenatal. So I did register and I saw this. Well, he wasn't quite elaborate, but I'm not sure. But I questioned his gynecology skills as well. You know, so I said, okay, do you have any pain? Oh, I have this pain here. It's normal.
It's normal. Yeah. That was on a Thursday.
This is the same. You know me. I always ask questions. The doctor in the UK had told me, "Oh, you're having this pain because the fetus is planted at a particular point. You know, so it's lower." So I could understand. For him, it's normal. His pregnancy is normal. So he said, "Okay, you're gonna have to take anti-malaria, anti-tetanus." I said, "Why do I need anti-malaria? Why do I need anti-tetanus?"
Yes.
Anti-tetanus is not common, but if it happens, which is fair and true,
yes,
if it happens, it's 100% fatality for the baby.
Yes.
You know, but it's not very common. But the truth about these things, it also depends on where you're going to have your baby. You know,
yes, of course, that matters.
You won't need it in a certain setting. You know. Anyway, on this fateful day, so my appointment, he did give me the anti-malaria. I wanted to reject, so I was like, I don't need this thing. I don't want it. So he gave me the anti-malaria, gave me the anti-tetanus, and I miscarried 3 days after. I mean, the 2 days after, I was like, why is my body feeling like? So I don't know if it's the kind of anti-malaria. Honestly,
reaction.
Yes, you know, but
so,
I mean, that was.
So we lost that at 18 weeks. So because of time, I mean, that for me the most painful part, and she cried so much after because that one they had to do.
I even want to. I'm like,
she went into labor. She had to push.
See, I was on the bed.
Yes.
This time, elaborate. This time, see, elaborate. I called the hospital at 3 a.m. and I said my water just broke.
Yeah,
and she said to me, a doctor in a private hospital in Lekki said to me, "Did your water break or did you weave yourself?" I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding you. That's what she said to me.
Yeah.
You know.
So of course we got to the hospital. She was complete. Maybe she was asleep. This was at 3 a.m.
Yes.
They were just confused, and you know.
I asked for a gynecologist. I'm like, don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
She was trying to do all kinds of things. I told him, I said, call your uncle. Call your uncle. I'll be
so I had to call my uncle.
Telling him what she's trying to do.
to
I don't
me.
trust her. You know. Eventually, I said, look, if get your gynecologist. But I mean, I went to labor, I expelled, you know, and I was even on bed. They were trying to give me one oxytocin to push. I'm like, no. So eventually, I'm like, you know what? This is how they did it in the old days. I'm coming off this bed. I went, I squatted, and I, you know, and I pushed.
And, you know,
and my was telling me, don't look.
Yeah, don't look. So I had to take some. They put the fetus or whatever. It was a boy.
I said, don't
put
dispose.
It in a bag. They said they can't even dispose. They said they couldn't dispose. So it was myself and my brother-in-law who had to take that to go and bury. You know,
I remember I wanted to bury.
So we went there. You know, we had to pay some guys to dig up and put, you know, and bury. So but that was 2014, and then you know, just to because of time, 2015, somebody said, there's this fantastic facility in the US, you know, in Delaware, and you know, so of course we embarked on the journey.
So
they had a success story.
They had a success story.
I understand.
They had used the place. They had also been waiting for a few years, so they had gotten pregnant, you know. So we got there, and the very first day we went for appointment, you know. The doctor says, "Oh, have you done an ultrasound?" We said, "No, we're here to." Have you done a pregnancy test? And we're looking. We said, "No, but we're here to check whether the womb is okay." And she said, "Oh, because," we said, "Why?" She said, "Oh, because you're pregnant."
No, she was careful. You know how they're very careful.
I can see
an embryo
sack or something.
Yes, yolk sack.
Something.
So my mind was just like.
So we just literally.
To be honest, I you know that kind. I knew in my heart. I knew
that you were.
Yeah, because at this time I was monitoring my period and I sort of had the date, so it was a bit late.
But you didn't want to tell my mouth about it. And that one stayed.
That one stayed.
That's Nathan.
That's Nathan.
It was quite a journey. I mean, regardless of what happened, even when he was about to be born that night.
I said to him, I'm like, this is 5 weeks, by the way. 5 weeks of pregnancy.
Yeah, 5 weeks of pregnancy. So we said, stay here.
I said, stay here.
So you stayed.
I said, wait, I should stay here.
From the beginning.
I said, stay here.
So I had to come back.
You did it.
Yeah, she stayed. Then, of course, in between, then she had to start giving herself.
Because it's $50 at the hospital. So I said,
now that I'll be injected.
Injecting herself every week. You know, she would inject herself.
It's all right. Hospital, the drugs.
This is
take for granted.
Wow. And your that was your son. Then your daughter, did she come naturally?
I was so busy carrying taking care of this.
Wow. So you're so fertile.
Get pregnant.
It's true. The first doctor has said to me, once you get pregnant the first time,
your body would start. Wow.
So you be on the lookout. You know, you had, you know, your system.
Me, I don't get fallopian tubes.
You never know.
That was why I cracked that joke earlier. Tubes don't grow back. I don't have. Do you get so?
Yeah. We talked about the medical part of this, but I think there's an important part, that emotional part.
It's really.
That part that gets very strongly affected by what's happening on the outside.
Yes.
That part about people who don't know anything about anything and just feel like they have to say something.
Oh,
I remember
that's
when I ran
very
into,
common.
I was going to say friend, but we went to school together. And I said, "Oh, how's your husband? Any kids yet?" And I said, "No." One boy said, "What's wrong with you? Be there doing honeymoon up and down." And I'm just like, "You have no
idea."
Yeah,
story.
Zero. You have no idea.
Yeah.
I will
Very
never forget
careless
that.
way of talking.
Very careless.
Yeah.
And sometimes also, I guess for those in the journey or those who've gone through it, people are also, some people don't know how to approach you.
Yes.
Because I remember saying to him that with this your whole family, with all the doctors there, nobody has even come
once
to say anything.
Exactly.
I mean, I literally have.
She never said it to me once.
Not
The first time,
Oh.
not once.
Nobody would
I remember the first time she thought that was what I was reacting to. She said to me, "Look, you're not in this thing alone. It's happening to all of us. We're doing it together." Honestly,
meaning they were just quietly praying and watching.
It was later I found out that one of his aunties had asked her that what's going on and what are they doing. And she just said, so she gave her the response. She said she just went to God and said, "God, let no man ever until it happens, let nobody." So I was seeing it out of them not caring, but they were like, they're caring. Everybody was there
just
doing their prayer,
quietly.
So I remember when we lost that one in 2014.
Did you tell them?
Because I was already
I
was showing.
They even came.
They broke their heart. They broke
then and all that. So
there's that
level
emotion,
of
that part, where on the outside it's not you going through it. Some people know how to react, some people don't know how to react. I'm just like, if you're not sure, just don't say. You know what I mean? If you're close enough, like this is my friend, I'm happy she was on my case. But I know that she came from a
you will feel that energy. There's an energy, what's right or wrong now, waiting for you.
Exactly. So you know that she's really not talking.
You have a lot of people with genuine concern. I'll never forget the day my mechanic called me that he wanted to come and see me. This is a mechanic I've been using for 20 years, so of course, came and said, "I hope I won't be angry that this is his concern." I said, "Don't worry, God will take care of it."
Guys, I mean,
this has been,
thank you enough for this. As in, I had ideas of it, but
how it will go, right?
And it's like I just want to go home and hug my kids tighter. Thank you for
letting you wait.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you too.
Thank you for sharing. I hope people that have watched this, you might be going through it. Like they said, there's the emotional side as well. Yes. You need to. I mean, don't give up. It's not easy. Like I said, there's the financial, there's the emotional, there's the spiritual, there's the physical, which is, daunting. Like what I've heard, I'm like, wow. And I see these people play with, we have fun, we have good times, but I'm like, oh, wow, this journey. So, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you too. Thank you to share, yes.
Yeah. And so, like I say, all we do it for the culture, and we'll keep doing our best to bring it to you. See you next time.